in terms of creating something that is good for all of us, or we can start with for one single person, in the context of understanding yourself. I think everyone knows, as we said in the beginning, we know what's good and we want a good life, right?
Well, we know what we want. I'm not, by the way, you said, in terms of understanding yourself, I don't think we need to understand ourselves at all. I mean, big deal. What's there to understand? Do you know what I mean? What is good is to know, here's the things that are good: to know what your values are, to know what your aspirations are, you know, to know what you want your relationships to be like, you know, your quality of life, the quality of society. Those are good things, but that's not the same as understanding yourself. We don't know why we want what
I totally get what you say,
Mm-hmm.
and what I'm trying to say is that I don't want to use the word health because I think it doesn't mean that much, but I mean, if we know how the body works, we know how our brain works and how our nervous system works, and we know if we abuse ourselves in stuffing ourselves with too much food, for example, and things like that, we don't get a good life in the definition of how the body in itself is doing. But I mean, I totally get that is not relevant. As long as you think that it's a good life, that's all that matters, right?
Well, you have there's choices that we make, and there are two things that we like that are not always, that sometimes are in conflict. Like, we like to eat whatever we like to eat on the one hand, and we really want to have healthy body on the other. And the question then becomes, which one is more important? And if, for example, health is more important, then you take strategic secondary choices on behalf of the primary choice of health, which means that you might not eat some of the things you would really like to eat. It's not to say you don't want to have them. It's to say you do want to have them, but you strategically choose not to have them on behalf of a higher order interest, for example, your health.
If you look around and you see what's called the metabolic syndrome that has been around for 40 years now, I think that is kind of a symptom of the structure of the society. I think that in the structure where we try to make a good life for ourselves, there is a lot of stress going on that creates something else. And maybe that's the dissonance, the conflict that you talk about. The people who are trying to profit from you eating a lot or buying products for looking good or for just lifestyle purposes or whatever. There's a different focus than on creating a good life for the individual, maybe.
Well, that's because most people have not been raised in the creative process, and so they react or respond to circumstances. But what the book does is it really helps people understand the relationships of those things, and you know, in a way, it's a lot simpler than you're describing it. I think if we just understand that the reason why people are often eating the wrong foods is because they like to.
Yeah.
Well, you got to really understand this. They really like to. Okay. Now, some of them are addictive, and some of them really, you know, have things in them that sort of perpetuate, you know, wanting more and more. But nonetheless, it doesn't matter. Nonetheless, if we know we like that stuff, but we also want something like good health. This is the good health versus the eating the McDonald's or whatever.
Yeah.
Then you make a choice. But the thing is, we have a choice to make. We can make the choice. And it's not, the devil made me do it. It is really that we have a choice. And of course, a lot of people don't know they have a choice. And so they just basically gravitate toward the immediate gratification of appetites rather than the longer term aspiration of health.
Yeah.
But we can change that relationship by thinking about what is it that really matters to us long term, and then organize our lives around that.
What's really important in life is to know your values and aspirations, and that you really have a choice. A choice to decide how to create the things that matters to you in your life. Here at Medical Running, we practice consciousness, conscious breathing, conscious movement, and conscious communication.